Hello, Forbidden Planet Transmission viewers. We're here today to talk about Troma because we have Lloyd Kaufman coming here on Monday, February 22nd at midnight to promote the Blu Ray release of Poultrygeist, the very first Troma Blu Ray ever. So you can see you know, their glorious blood and vomit in high definition. And that's this Monday, February 22nd at Forbidden Planet NYC. And let me just let you know, it's Monday going into Tuesday. DVDs come out on Tuesdays, kids, and not Sunday going into Monday, because it's midnight. I know it can be confusing sometimes. People don't know when midnight really is. And that's Monday going into Tuesday at midnight. Don't show up on Sunday. No one will be here. So because of this great event that we're having, I decided to bust out all the Troma stuff that we've got here at the Planet and talk a little bit about it. So, you know, as you may know, Lloyd Kaufman is the co-founder of you know, Troma Incorporated with Michael Hertz, who is not actually a big fat guy like you might think from watching Troma movies. That's just a joke, I hope. But besides the point, let me show you some of the stuff that we've got here. As I showed you the Blu Ray disc release, that you know, that's going to be coming out, and you can come here and get it signed by Lloyd. But let's talk about some of their other flagship titles, like the Toxic Avenger. Now we got here the 7-disc box set, the complete Toxic Avenger with the Toxic Crusaders cartoon show, which a lot of people were you know, first exposed to Troma and Toxie through the Toxic Crusaders TV show, because you know, for some reason they thought that a mutated nerd would be a great idea to help kids know about environmental awareness. But that's another thing I'm not really sure. There's a lot of things about Troma that I don't really understand, but I still love them. Toxic Avenger is definitely one of my favorite movies of all time. As a child, I remember going to the video store and seeing this awesome poster for Toxie 3 right here, of him punching out this monster, and that was in the local video store in my neighborhood. And you know, I went right up to the counter and I said, I want to see this movie, Toxic Avenger Part 3. You know, I'd never seen Toxic Avenger Part 1 or 2 before, but that didn't really matter because I saw him punching out this really awesome monster, and I wanted to see that. And you know, so you know, let me preface this by saying I was a very youngin', and the guy behind the counter said, we don't have that movie, but we have the first one. So I settled, and I took the first Toxic Avenger movie home, and I threw it in the VCR. VCR, that's right, not DVD. And I made it about 10 minutes into the movie when they decided, there's a game they play in the movie where they hit people with their cars for points. It's the group of youth, you know, rebellious youths. So they roll over this kid's about my age head and splatter it all across the street, and that's when I shut it off and was completely freaked out and couldn't ever sleep again. But that was my first experience with the Toxic Avenger, and you know, a couple years later I revisited it, and then I got it and I loved it. But that first time is definitely something that changed my life. I would never forget that experience watching it for the first time, or trying to watch it for the first time. But now I have a great love for Troma and all their movies. You know, the ones Lloyd does a lot of great stuff. He gives a lot of people their start. You know, he gave Matt Stone and Trey Parker a start, and he released their musical, their Cannibal the Musical, and that's the guys from South Park. You know, that I'll never watch, but that's a whole nother story. Really great stuff. But you know, but their in-house movies are great, and they buy movies from people and they give everybody a shot, which is a kind of cool thing, like kind of like Forbidden Planet in their indie section. We're willing to give everybody a shot, but you know, they've got some really classic films from, you know, Joel Reed's Blood-Sucking Freaks. I hear Joel Reed will not even watch this movie anymore, and I went to a screening of it recently. Well, not that recently, it was about 2 years ago at the Pioneer before it closed down, and you know, he did a talk for about 2 hours and told us about everybody he slept with, male and female, in the movie industry. And then when they showed the movie, he walked out. But if you come and dare to purchase a copy and watch it, you'll probably understand why. You know, but they have some great ones. Troma's War, which was probably which I hear had the most squibs ever at the time when this was made. And squibs are you know, special effects when the people are shot and they get blown up. And this is you know, and Lloyd always says that you know, that may be true that it had the most squibs, but the most important thing is the first movie that ever had a woman's breast shot off, and that's definitely true. That's fact. You know, they have other great characters like Sergeant Kabuki Man, and you know, their classic edition take on Romeo and Juliet, Tromeo and Juliet, and you know, they're a New York staple. Troma's a New York staple, just like Forbidden Planet. They've been here longer, I have to say, but you could see some of these people out on the street, which is great. Mother's Day, another great title, being remade by Darren Lynn Bousman right now, the guy who worked on a couple of those Saw films. We love Saw. And he did Repo the Genetic Opera. That's a great one. And I hear Lloyd actually has a little bit part in the remake. I'm very excited to see that. That was actually the other feature being shown when I went to see Blood-Sucking Freaks in the theater. You know, they have an endless amount of movies. Monster in the Closet, which is hilarious. I have that on VHS. Shameless Tasteless, which I haven't seen yet because I lent it to Jeff Ayers and still haven't gotten it back yet. That was months ago. You know, Zombiegeddon, Killer Condom, based on a comic book. We're a comic book store. That's a good one to mention. Class of Nukem High. This is another in-house movie, which is, you know, there's 3 of them, and you can get this awesome box set. And, you know, did I forget to mention, we sell all of this stuff on our website, ForbiddenPlanetUSA.com. You know, you can get the sexy box, where they finally put all Lloyd's sex comedies in one box together, and you can get it for the extra low price of $34.99 right on the shelves, or probably cheaper on the website. This is the Toxic Avenger and Other Traumatic Tales, a graphic novel put out by Devil's Due Publishing, which is a great publishing company. They do Hack Slash, one of my favorite comic books. But you know, they pretty much have different artists and writers do their takes on all the Troma movies throughout history, and definitely really fun stuff. You know, there's Kabuki Man, and there's a really funny one Tim Seeley did. I think it's the dinosaurs in Nympho Barbarian Hell, or something to that effect. I forget the actual. Yes. Yeah. Oh. But you know, I can go on and on and tell you about all the Troma movies I've spent my you know, time out of the planets watching. But you know, I think I've said enough, and let me just reiterate the fact that you kids better come down Monday night and get Lloyd's John Hancock on some of this great stuff.